Ladies and gentlemen, my name is VTech. We're back for some more Impact Wrestling this week. Kicking off, we have Mike Bennett saying after last week's match with Kurt Angle, saying that he was a lazy worker. He was a worker that he did not want to be facing come the pay-per-view once again. He got a lucky win, but that's because he injured Mike Bennett. Alright? And Eric Bischoff reminds Mike Bennett that, look, you're still able to compete come the pay-per-view. Heck, you can compete tonight. You just got a doctor's note, alright? Mike Bennett says, you know what? I'm not fighting him tonight. I'm not fighting him next week. And come the pay-per-view, I don't want to fight him. Alright? But a man comes out and he says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And of course, Paul Heyman talks to Eric Bischoff saying, let me make you an offer you can't refuse. Let me let my client redeem himself from last week, redeem himself from losing to Kurt Angle, and let my client be the guy who beat the guy who is your world champion right there. And Eric Bischoff makes that match go. Following that, Cody Rhodes was able to defeat Kurt Angle in a last man standing match, but that was only because Mike Bennett attacked Kurt Angle and hit him on the bottom of his leg, giving back the same amount of intensity that was given to him last week when he was injured. Next up, we see the Wolves talking to Motor City Machine Guns, and everything's going fine, but as Motor City Machine Guns are ready to go out to the arena, the Wolves actually attack them from behind, beating them up backstage, throwing them into construction carts. Complete change of pace as the Wolves are back, and they're vicious now. And Hatchback takes on your Impact Tag Team Champions, take on the Shear Brothers and the Sheiks. And as this international alliance is just being ripped apart by these two beasts that are in charge of the tag team division right now. Next up, we see Rose and Rosemary. Rose, of course, telling Rosemary, her sister, that she's going to bring her back to life. She's going to restore her. She's going to rejuvenate. She's going to revive her. And that she will no longer decay. And we see Rose take on Awesome Kong and defeat the Giant with a Rose Plant tonight. Next up, we see a little quick segment where Father Joseph is feeding King Maxwell some beans. Just with a spoon. Yep. After that, Caleb Conley gets an impressive victory over Macho Machismo with an inverted overdrive. After that, Stephen Strange has a quick segment where he's just talking about how life is wonderful for him and how he's glad that he no longer has to decay like Rosemary and Abyss, who's sitting at home decaying so much he might have withered away. Next up, we see Paul Heyman address the world once again, saying that he has a new client in the Impact Zone, and his name is Cage. And that Cage will be up in action tonight, taking on EC3. The two of them actually drew tonight because the two of them just got into a big brawl, actually ending up in the draw. Following that, Taz says, Ricochet, welcome to the Impact Zone. And of course, the two of them are talking. He says, tonight, you're in the main event. It's the X Division title. You think you got what it takes? And Ricochet is more than confident to take on the X Division. In our main event, we see the Motor City Machine Guns and Wolves go at it, so they completely just take each other out. Of course, Stephen Strange is in this match also blasting each other, but it really comes down to Ricochet and Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews is able to get the win on Stephen Strange, with the Shooting Star Press to retain his X Division title. But after that, things come to a head in the backstage of Impact in our main event segment, when Kurt Angle and Bram and Drew Galloway were backstage all talking about how they're gonna get rid of Mike Bennett and his games and Paul Heyman and his games. The Bennett family and Cody Rhodes actually attacked them backstage, and a brawl just broke out, and security needed to stop them as we're edging towards the pay-per-view. And that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all next time. Adios.